So I think I am back for possibly one of the last videos. We'll see if I screw anything else up. As you all know, I had reconstructive surgery back on August 16th, and it was a DIEP Flap Reconstruction where they took the fat from my stomach and moved it up to my boobs. So now my boobs are made of Whataburger and tacos. A lot has happened since then. It's been about a month, so you can only imagine, knowing me. So let's dive in. I drove from Maryland to Houston, and I got to Houston at like, I don't know, 6 o'clock on Sunday, August 13th. And huge thank you to Bill and Mary for letting me stay with them. They were absolutely amazing, and I owe them everything. I had my pre-op appointment on Tuesday. It was the day before my surgery, where my surgeon went and drew all over me, and I'll show you the picture and like block out my boobs. For those of you that don't want to see it, I'll do the same thing like I did before, and at the end of the video I'll put any of the graphic images that you may or may not want to see so that you can choose to opt out. I had lines marking where my belly button was because I got a brand new belly button that'll show you how much skin and fat was removed from my stomach. It was a large chunk, and they moved it up top. Thank you to Cancer for the tummy tuck. That's awesome, and I still can't stand up straight all the way. So surgery was on Wednesday, and I can't remember for sure, but I think we had to be down at MD Anderson at like 7:30 in the morning. So with it being a work day, me and Crystal got up I think at like 5 o'clock, and she drove me down there. The surgery itself lasted 10 hours, and then coming to Crystal took a video of me doped out of my mind talking about, I'll have to explain the titty babies. Yeah, so I'll put that video of me drugged out of my mind. Don't mind my 30 chins. I was very high.
Because this thingy makes
like
the sounds
yeah.
of my babies in my boobs.
You got babies in your boobs.
Yeah.
I love that. She has quadruplets.
Yeah, it's so cool. You can hear it go.
Are you feeling really good right now?
I'm good. I'm chilling.
Yeah. Got some new tatas.
I do.
It's time to
I
take them.
How are you guys doing?
So the titty babies, they connected blood supply from the fat section that they took out of my abdomen, and they connected it to a blood supply up in my chest so that the brand new tissue wouldn't die off, because it needs a healthy blood supply. So in order to check that, they used like a little Doppler. It basically looked like a little pin type thing, and they would put it on these little wires or near these wires that I don't freaking know. Basically my boobs had a heartbeat. And it was making sure that I maintained that little steady heartbeat going throughout to ensure that the blood supply was adequate, because you don't want healthy tissue that just got moved up to die and fall off, because that's awkward. I had to get the Doppler check, the sound heartbeat thing, checked every hour right after surgery for that first day. I also had a catheter, so I didn't have to get up and go to the bathroom, because I couldn't move. I couldn't move that first day. It was pretty rough. It wasn't a pain thing. It was just I was really drugged up, super drugged. So it wouldn't have been good for me to try to get up and move around that day anyway. The goal on the first day was for me to get up out of bed with help from the physical therapists and the occupational therapists. I had to get up out of bed and move into the chair that was next to the bed. If I was successfully able to do that without any issues, they were gonna take the catheter out. The first time wasn't so good. I stood up, and they have to keep checking your blood pressure when you do this, and my blood pressure dropped to 65/40, so not so good. I'm lucky I didn't pass out. They were asking me the whole time, like, are you hot? You're not sweating or anything? And I was like, no, I'm good, but I had very low blood pressure, so whoopsie. So we delayed for a couple hours on trying to get me over to the chair just to make sure. Apparently right after surgery that can happen sometimes. I don't know. But yeah, my blood pressure dropped crazy low. So we waited a couple hours, and what is my hair doing? Whoa. I feel like Johnny Bravo. It's got a mind of its own these days. I'm not doing anything, so I kept my catheter in. That was fun. Just, you know, peeing whenever. Didn't notice it, couldn't feel it. I also couldn't feel any of my incisions. They used Exparel again. It's the 3-day, I think it's a nerve block or something, I don't know, but no pain in my abdomen. I already didn't have any feeling in my breasts because of the prior mastectomy. So the nurses came back a few hours later, the occupational therapist and the physical therapist all came, and we successfully got me up and moved into the chair. So because I was able to sit in the chair for a while, I was able to have my catheter removed, which then allowed me to use the restroom with supervision, which was so much fun. One thing is that the hospital used the raised toilet seat. It's like there's the normal toilet and then there's a seat above that's raised. And first time I went to use it, apparently somebody didn't center it over the toilet and I peed all over the floor. So I'm midstream, I'm like, yeah, let's do this. I'm rocking and rolling, and then I look on the ground and I see little piddle going off into the shower. So that was fun, being 35 years old and peeing all over the floor. Luckily it's a hospital shower restroom area, so they are prepared for urine and all that fun stuff. So we pushed the seat back over the toilet, but I didn't need that anyway. I think that that's more for like the older patients, because I got thigh muscles. I do squats, so I showed them that I was able to use the restroom without their little raised toilet seat thing, and they said okay, so they finally let me pee like a normal human. You lose all dignity when going through this. During all of this, I also had a wound vac on, so I had 6 strains. So that was a lot of shit to carry back and forth to the toilet. It was a lot of fun. So at this point, I was good for that day, but I did forget to eat that night. So whenever I got my pain medication that night, I ended up getting super sick, and yeah, the nurses made fun of me. Yeah, that was a dumb move. Don't take a lot of painkillers when you haven't eaten anything. So for future reference, always remember to order dinner. So after meeting my goal for the first day, the next day my goal was to get up and do a couple laps around the room, and then if I was up for it, I could do laps around the floor upstairs, like do laps around the nurses station upstairs and do stairs themselves. So typically they do one of those things a day and they take it slow, but I'm young and sprightly and stubborn as fuck and I wanted out of there, so I decided to knock them all out that day. My blood pressure was fine, it was stabilized and no issues with low blood pressure again, so that was good. Because I was able to do the stairs and the laps and everything like that, they said that I could be released on Saturday. So Crystal and Mike came and picked me up, and I broke out of that joint with a big ass wedge pillow that would keep me at a 30-degree angle, since I couldn't lay flat thanks to my stomach being stretched, strut. All that skin they removed, they had to take it and like pull it down. So it was super tight, super tight. So I couldn't lay flat and I couldn't stand up straight. I still can't really, but that's why I needed the wedge and my 6 strains and a whole bunch of medical equipment like alcohol prep pads and the cups to drain my drains. And so I went back to Bill and Mary's. They were phenomenal. Like, they took such good care of me, and they're just the sweetest people, so thank you again. So I had my first post-op appointment on the 31st, and at that appointment, my surgeon took out the 4 drains up top. So I only had 2 drains left, one in each hip, and that was awesome. I felt human again. It was great, and they did an amazing job when they pulled the skin back together. They lined up the tattoo to where it doesn't look so out of place and it kind of just flows together. So after that appointment on the 31st, I ended up driving back to Maryland. I made a pit stop in New Orleans and lost my phone. So New Orleans 1, Courtney 0. I got drunk. Whoops. So after being back in Maryland, everything was going great. You know, I had the 2 drains and I had a follow-up appointment scheduled for September 13th. In that time, I split open one of my incisions and it looked pretty nasty. You could basically just see inside my abdomen. But that's one of the pictures I'll put at the end of the video in case somebody doesn't want to see it, in case you're queasy. I also have a split incision under my right breast, so I saw Dr. Jabor out here on the 13th. He said everything's fine. It's going to heal from the inside out. He's not worried about it. I was trying to keep it shut with some zip closures, but he was like, don't even worry about that. He said it was fine. So at that appointment, he also took out one of the drains. The drain on the right side was still producing over 30 milliliters of fluid, probably because that's the side that I busted open the incisions on. I'm not sure, but that's just a guess on my side. So he gave me permission at that appointment to remove that drain myself when it came time. Well, you see what had happened was that drain started coming out. I went to meet up with some friends of mine for their daughter's homecoming, and at dinner that night, that drain might have slipped out about 4 inches, and me being me, I shoved it back in. Probably not the smartest idea, but it leaked all over my pants while I was at dinner. I was like, oh shit. So we held it in there with Band-Aids, and then that night we went back over to my friend's house and I just removed it because Dr. Jabor said it was fine. He said that a couple days earlier at that appointment that if I needed to take it out, I could. So he knew it was falling out. The stitches that were holding it in place had come undone, so it was just kind of free moving in there. Yeah. So I have a video of me pulling it out. It is not, some people are grossed out by it, but it's not that bad. It's just like, so if you want to see it, keep watching. And if not, you can fast forward a little bit. It's fine. All right, so here we are. I had a bit of an issue today. It came out a bit and leaked, so we're pulling the drain. All right. I've been holding it in with Band-Aids and put another glove on.
They are big gloves.
Are these if I make a double XL joke, you know DJ's gonna be like, it's JR.
Oh, we gotta have the big ones here.
We're gonna do this quick.
Was it quick with the last one?
Nasty shit. Love it.
So, first step, release the pressure.
We discussed this earlier.
If you want to remove my drain tube, pull the string as I walk away. And I'm gonna take a deep breath. 1, 2.
Slowly, slowly, slowly. Nice, dude.
Got it.
Nice.
And we did it! I'm drain free now. So now I'm completely drain free. I am happy and I'm able to work out again, so that's been awesome. I've been walking the streets every day. Walking the streets. I'm not walking the streets. I've been walking in my neighborhood a couple miles every day. Started lifting weights again. What I'm allowed to. I'm being cautious so y'all don't freak out and jump at me. I have another post-op appointment later on in November, so like November 30th, I think it is. And that's at MD Anderson. So I'll be going back to Texas. Late November, early December, I'll be there. Oh, also my immunotherapy got pushed back because of the openings in my incisions. So haven't had my immunotherapy in like 5 weeks. But my oncologist isn't worried about it. He's fine with it. He just wanted to make sure that I'm healing properly before we start suppressing my immune system. I think that's everything. I don't know. We'll see. What's happening here? Baby hairs. Bye.